Lord, man, you're the dead man. The song is me. That's me, praying for the healing guy. The Lord has healed me. So I called Neal, and I said, that song is me! And I'm crying. And so I was teaching that morning at work, and he sends me this email and says, I didn't want to tell you this because I didn't want you to feel bad, but for weeks now I've been praying that we would have spiritual unity in our marriage, and that we'd be on the same path, because I know I really wasn't into church, and he's going to be a priest. It's just kind of a weird situation. So he had been praying for that we would have this spiritual unity. So he tells me this in this email, and I'm hysterical, crying again. And I called him and I said, "This is your fault." I was telling him all these things that were going on, and I said, this is so intense. I just think it's not a coincidence that you're scheduled to preach on Sunday. It's happened on Thursday. And I said, "What are the readings?" And the phone died, and I was so annoyed. He called me right back, and he said, "Jesus heals the blind man."
Lord.
I know. So,
Amen.
anyways, Christ more. So I called Lorraine. Lorraine, Brother Brad right there. I have to meet with him right now. So I flipped my car around in Albany Street. It was probably better than moving, obviously. And I went, and I told him what had happened, and went home that night. Neal came back from Lake Placid, and his friend Victor, he's a Roman priest. I was making garlic bread at our counter, and he said, "Lisa, I know you're really upset when your ring broke at dinner on Monday." He said, "It's not a bad thing." He said, "God started something new in your marriage, and now you need a new ring." And that's what it was. So anyway, so ever since that, we had a little rocky period where it was kind of, we're trying to figure out what's going on, and Neal was a little shocked because he got a little more than he bargained for and praying for this spiritual unity. I like to compare it to being at like a Holy Spirit Six Flags. We've been on many wild rides since that moment, and we've kind of found our groove together, but it's just been really amazing. And none of this, if we had been here at Christ Church and had been around all you people who I formerly thought were crazy, and now I realize you're just like super holy. I'm not kidding when I say I would have gone to the psych ward, because it was so bizarre to have all these, experiences that were completely foreign and just so real. I mean, I'm feeling things, I'm seeing things, what's happening here. And it's because of you guys, and you're not afraid to say what's happening in your lives and how the Spirit's moving at Myra. I remember seeing you I'm glad you're enjoying this now. Seeing you in the hallway that day, and I was so thankful that you had gotten up one Sunday and talked about vision you had of the altar with water flowing out, because I never heard anybody talk about any visions they've ever had, and I had them. And I don't think you guys realize how holy you really are, and how this church is just overflowing with the Spirit all the time. My girlfriend Julie has come a couple times, and she's been overwhelmed by it. And there's like a time Myra had a word that she shared at communion, or after communion, and Julia had come up and she said, "Who is that lady?" Whatever she said was exactly what I needed to hear. It was for me. I just know it was for me. You may not have known it at the time, or your vision when you shared it that time, you wouldn't have known that. That's the reason why I wasn't afraid to tell somebody that, hey, or when you get you share like you have a word here or there, or even when you guys tour. Where'd you go? With stuff to pray for people, which I know it sounds like a no-brainer, right? Like, oh, if somebody's saying there's something wrong with them, just stop right there and pray for them. Well, churches were active enough to, but here they do, and it's just different and it's normal. So if I'm at work now and somebody's having a bad day, and sometimes, please say no. But just the way you live your lives and the way you act, it's so Spirit-filled, and it's just not how everybody is. And like I said, I did think you were a little bit out there crazy, but I want to be crazy too. Like you
Okay.
I like to have the other side of the fence.
Okay.
But, so anyways, so it's just been great for us, and Neal has, I mean, you guys didn't know him before he came here. To see him just grow leaps and bounds, not just in his ministry, but in his spiritual life, it's just everything. Our life is just so much richer and fun and exciting. And it's just great, and our marriage is so much better, and just everything's better. And none of that would have happened if we hadn't landed here. So anyways, that's my story. Oh, thanks. We were at this conference a couple weeks ago, and the guy talking made this great point. It was like the only thing I remember for an hour and a half. He said, I don't like it when people say, when were you baptized in the Holy Spirit? Because he said, it's an event. It's like a wedding. You never know what's happened along the way. And then a divorce, it's a bad situation. So you really need to focus on the now and where are you right now with the Lord. And that's kind of where Neal's going to take over. Because the story's great, but now's more important.